She abused that trust, stealing tens of thousands of pounds from her vulnerable employer.
Housebound Irene Simons treated carer Helen Bailey as a friend, trusting her completely. But the friendship was one-sided, and behind her back, Bailey had remortgaged her home. Today she was sentenced to 18 months in jail.
Well, in a moment we'll be finding out how elderly and vulnerable people can protect themselves against this type of fraud. But first, Bob Hocknell reports on Irene's case.
A muscle wasting condition has left Irene Simons severely crippled and virtually housebound. But today she did leave her house in Acox Green in Birmingham to see the woman she'd trusted sent to jail.
I can't believe that she's done it, because I regarded her as a friend.
Her carer, Helen Bailey from Smethwick, admitted defrauding Mrs Simons over 3 years. Bailey took charge of the pensioners' finances, stealing £36,000 by falsely claiming her husband Paul also worked for her. She also remortgaged Mrs Simons' home to get a £28,000 loan.
I just hate for what she's done to me, and she's left me with mistrust for other carers.
She was cruel, nasty, mentally abused Irene. And for that, it's my sister. And I'm angry about that.
Bailey's husband Paul was given a suspended sentence for his part in the deception. Members of Mrs Simons' family travelled from as far as Canada to see the carer jailed for 18 months.
I can't say I'm elated, but I feel vindicated. I think that she should have done for what she did.
This case is a particularly disturbing case. Irene is a severely disabled lady and she's been a victim of a systematic fraud that could have cost her a home.
Recorder David Owen Jones told Bailey she was guilty of a very serious breach of trust on a very vulnerable disabled lady. Because Bailey forged Mrs Simons' signature, the pensioner is still having to pay back the loan she didn't want in the first place. But now the carer's treachery has been exposed, it's hoped the bank won't demand any more payments. Bob Hocknell, BBC Midlands Today.
Well, we're joined now by Melanie Dawson from Helping Hands Home Care in Warwickshire, which places carers in people's homes. Melanie, thanks for joining us. It's an awful case. I mean, how do you make sure your clients don't suffer this sort of thing?
One of the most important things is to make sure that you're using an agency that's registered, and then they've got all the safeguards in place to ensure that people are assessed for their vulnerability, and then that they're followed up and they're looked after and made sure that they're not in that sort of vulnerable situation for long term.
So you're talking police checks, are you? Background checks, what sort of things are you talking about that needs to be done?
We do police checks, and we also check people on the Protection of Vulnerable Adults register, and we take references, and we do quite intensive training with our carers, and part of the recruitment process can take up to 6 weeks to ensure that somebody's safe to be going into someone's home.
So go through an agency, that's a key point, isn't it?
And a registered agency.
A registered agency, an agency that's registered with the Care Quality Commission.
But what you're saying, there are agencies out there that are not registered.
There are agencies that aren't registered, and they're registered at different levels. There's a starring system, and you're looking for the highest star value, which then tells you that those people have acquired all of the guidelines that are needed.
And of course social services can help as well, can't they?
Social services can recommend, and they can point people in the right direction.
OK, thank you very much, Steve, for coming in.